No, it's not that far. A little bit back. Here we go. Hi, witches. How are you?
Did anybody get the crazy notices that we went live a bunch of times and then the video is not available? Yeah, listen, we're trying so hard to use new technology. I don't even know what to say. Besides, I just want to rant and rave about how technology is wonderful until it just doesn't fucking work. I know we've all had that irritation, right? We've all had that irritation. So I'm really Kat already saged me, and the sage was like falling all over the floor because I've been frustrated because I can't get it to work the way that I want to.
Listen, this restream thing is like crazy.
It's fine.
But so yeah, Jamie's been stressing out for like 40 minutes. So anyway, tonight,
this is a super exciting topic. This is actually really close to where my witchcraft journey started. Oh, we're gonna check really quick that Kat can see the chat.
I can see the chat. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to expand it bigger. I just made it smaller. Tracy says, "Hello, witch sisters."
So the little line, the little tiny gray line. Yes, try to move that up. There you go, and that should. Oh well, it's supposed to make it bigger.
That and then it just makes this. It does some weird thing with that.
Hi,
it's
Tracy.
Okay. I can see. I think I can.
She can only see like 2 lines at a time.
Yeah, I got like this much. So we will try to maybe if I turn it.
Yeah.
You guys. One day when we grow up, we're gonna have a studio. I was thinking a good business might be for people who like us, where we rent out space. And
that looks better, that view for the chat.
Yeah, I don't care about seeing myself. Well, yeah, I can only see. I'm just going to put hi again and enter. Yes. Okay.
All right. I hope that.
So Tracy's like, it's all going to be okay. You are amazing and we love you. Thank you. We love you too. Thank you for your patience with us. We do have big plans for when we're like big stars, but right now we're just mini stars.
I don't know what we are, but I'm somebody with a lot of knowledge that just wants to give it away. That's probably my biggest thing. This is extremely fulfilling for me because I have all this shit running around in my head all the time. And I'm like, gosh,
she really does
share this with the world.
Listen, I love when she just starts rattling off stuff. Like she'll tell somebody about, oh, you're a 7 or you're an 8. And she'll be able to give all the factoids about them. And they'll just sit there mouth open, amazed at the accuracy of it, of what she says about like the master, about your number, which is going to be, actually the number is going to be a different topic.
It's going to be the end of next month.
Yeah. It's going to be a different live that we're going to talk about your numbers. But right now
they do go together, and it's a long explanation to bring it together. So first off, let's start over with a little bit of new energy. Welcome to the YouTube Live tonight. We are talking about letters and their meanings and what's it mean for your name, just your first name. So one of the things that I want to promise you guys is that we are going to, anybody who wants to submit their name later on, we're going to tell you what your name means as one cohesive unit. Just your first name though.
Yeah.
I can tell you from the knowledge that when you learn the letters, then you can learn that your middle name is like your secret self, the self that nobody else really knows. So, and if you weren't born with a middle name, you have no secrets. No, just kidding.
And for reference, we're using 2 of Shirley Blackwell Lawrence's books. Yeah. I think we've talked about one is The Secret Science of Numerology, The Hidden Meaning of Numbers and Letters. Mm-hmm. It's like that thick.
They're very scientific, but also they have like spiritual things in them. She uses the word like God and Christianity because when our alphabets were devised, that there was heavy influence in the religious sector into like why we're writing things down and speech and all of that. So the glyphs, the pictures that letters do have a history in that world that we can't ignore. So they brought things from that world or that side. But all of the things that they talk about, nothing is actually Christian within the letters. It's more on the spiritual side and how things are devised. Yes. So I love these books. One of them is out of print.
This one?
This one is now being reprinted as it is.
So this is just called Exploring Numerology, Life by Numbers.
Yeah.
Shirley Lawerence. And this one, she's got Shirley
This
Blackwell
is out of
Lawerence.
print now.
This is out of print?
This is out of print.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's one of my favorite books.
Oh, my goodness.
Her research that she did for all the years, studying with different people, she writes about all of that. But truly, it's like once you sort of learn, you can't unlearn it and you can't unsee it, and then you can't unknow it. So when you're meeting people and you're like, oh, your name is Steve, and you're just like, and you're like summing them up already, right? Like a little bit. It's easier to me than astrology and being like, so what's your birthday and what's your sign and where's your moon? And, because a lot of people don't know that, but knowing what letters and numbers mean just opened my world to be more intuitive, to understand things. It was like literally like a secret language for me.
Secret language.
It is, besides tarot, it's my running practice of just giving people information about themselves that I learned from books and just pass on. So without further ado, the first thing that I want to introduce you to that I don't know the name of, and I know there's a name for it, but I don't know it. No. See, this is why we wanted to use Restream with the camera so that we could show stuff. But there's this, excuse my squeak from the chair. I'm sure it's going to squeak. It's this thing. You guys have seen this thing, right? The letters and the numbers in a graph 1 through 9, and then all the numbers are put into it, or all the letters are put into it. Yes, it has a name. I don't know it. If you know it, put it in the chat for me, please, because again, my knowledge is working knowledge, not research knowledge. I would not be able to write a book about this without doing a lot more research. Everything I know is from use. And this is the most useful thing to me because I know what the numbers mean. So they're categorized into each number, except for number 9, has 3 letters, and they all have like a little, motto. They have a little motto.
Like the number 8, the letters that fall under the number 8 are HQZ, which is headquarters.
Headquarters.
Because
the letters, that number, the way that they relate is the 8s are all in their head, and they are the CEO types, and they want to rule, and they want to dictate, and they're not very emotional. So even though we think of like the mental part as maybe having our emotions, do we think that? Now I'm thinking heart, but just you would think that if somebody was like in their head that there would be a lot of emotions up there, but actually it's a lot of just intellect, not a lot of emotions.
So what is Fox? Because 6 is FOX. What is
Sly as a fox?
Sly as a fox.
Well, Fox is about that den, the family, being concerned with like raising your young, because 6 is a family number. So it's not sly as a fox. It's fox like as in the den, the family, the home, the care, the pups. Yeah. Okay.
And what about clue? CLU, clue.
That's getting a clue. Clue is openness. When we search out clues,
that's
we're
the number
open
3
to looking at everything.
If you're sitting here watching this, just make you a little grid like this, 1 through 9 across the top, then start doing your letters A through I, then 3, you'll have 3 rows, and your last row will be missing 1 letter.
Yeah.
And then you'll have this little
cheat sheet
grid
it's a cheat
that
sheet.
We showed you.
Yeah.
That you can make of your own. And this is going to help you do a lot of different things. It'd be useful
later
as a tool.
Tonight, I just want to really talk about the letters. And if you have these letters in your name, or if you've been a mom, or if you've named a pet, or if you've named anything, you're going to wonder why you chose the name. Why did it resonate with you, right? Like, I knew what all the letters meant. So when I gave my son his name, I did not take it lightly. It took me all 8 months to come up with his name before he had a name right before he was born. Like, in that 9th month, I was only mostly sure I knew what his name was going to be. And I didn't get to pick his middle name. That had to be the father's side. But for his first name, I named him Cameron, Cameryn, not a normal way to spell Cameron, because I wanted certain letters in his name to give him certain characteristics. I was like building my best friend, maybe, giving him my
and
Y.
She has a Y in her name.
Yeah.
So Tracy says that this is called Numerology letter chart.
That's it? I thought it was going to have way more of a complicated
much more
name.
Fancy name. Thank you, Tracy, for looking that up for us.
Perfect. Yeah. Numerology letter chart.
Numerology letter chart.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
what
it's called.
Exactly what. That's the most plain language. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I concur. Most definitely.
Okay.
So the way that I started making notes, because I believed that we were going to have the camera, so I could just like put the paper there and show you guys. So a lot of this is going to be speaking. The best thing I could do to make it more physical, I don't even know. Yeah.
Well, first of all,
But you can't see any of my writing. We'll
no,
have
but
to talk
I'm gonna go through it though.
You're gonna go through it, the letter.
I was gonna go through your notes.
You're really gonna go K-A-T?
Yeah, listen, Jamie was writing letters, so I'm like, I'm gonna do my name. K. It's actually just my partner. Is that not? Is not that
No,
a
it's
good
okay.
thing?
My Virgo rising sign is like that's not the order of them, but yes, go ahead.
Well, I thought we do, or we can do Tracy's name. Why don't you work on Tracy's name because she's in here, so we
Just
can
make
do
sure I have all of the
Tracey.
Yeah, I need to do. That's fine. I'll continue to write. You go through.
Okay.
The notes, and I want you to tell what parts
you want me to tell what part of me?
Yes, because her name is actually Katrina. So this is a shortened version. All right, and let me say this about when we choose nicknames, because my husband's name is technically Anthony, but he goes by Tony and always has. He's never gone by Anthony. His brother, the same thing. His brother's name is actually like
Edward.
How? I didn't even remember that.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
pulled that out of somewhere.
It's Edward, but for his entire life since he was born, he's gone by Rocky. That is not even a nickname of the two, but it's just what the family named him. So here's an interesting fact, because then you can think about, well, what if I was adopted? I don't know what, if you might have had a name before your adoption, and then when you got adopted and it's closed, like you wouldn't know what your birth name was, right? Then there's also people who choose to change their name, especially if you get married or decide that you just want a totally new identity. Think about what giving yourself a new name can really do for you. You start to identify with these letters that mean something totally different. And that is fucking amazing. That's the power that we have, that we can project that instead of this old way of life, right? This old thing, this something that you're born with that maybe you want to completely disassociate
and
from.
that's kind of how Kat evolved for me.
Yeah.
Like I went by... So I was born Katrina.
All your nicknames.
I grew up, my family called me Cappy, K-A-P-I. That was my nickname. I should have kept that, but when I was 11 years old and I went out into the world on my own, I changed my name. I started using the name Kathy because Katrina is a derivative of Kathleen or Catherine. So I was like, okay, well, that's close enough, because I didn't want to be Katrina, because everybody made fun of me in school because my name was so different. All the other girls were named Debbie, Linda, Susan, and I was Katrina. So it was very exotic and weird, and they would make fun of me. So I didn't like my name. I still say to this day, the only people that call me Katrina are the judge and my mother.
The judge and your mother. Okay.
The judge and my mother.
Yeah. That defines what that name means for you, the feeling that might come out.
Yeah. Authority, like somebody
trying to control
trying to control me. So when I was like, I did, I went by Kathy, and then for a long time I went by Kathy. And then I got to where I was like, I don't feel like a Kathy anymore, And so when I went to my second big job, when I grew up, and
in her 30s,
in my 30s, and it was like my second job, I decided at that point. So I went for the school district, and then it was my third job, the job that I started at now. When I went to the job that I started at, that I'm still with now, that May will be 31 years I've been with, I shortened my name to Kat. And I was like, that's what I'm going to go by from now on. And that was about 1995. So I've been using the name Kat since 1995.
I didn't realize that. I remember for a short period when your name was Kathy, and just the way that it sounded, Kathy.
I know.
For my mom, I don't know why. Like, Kathy's not a bad name. I've known lots of very nice Kathys. But when it came to my mom, I could not. She went from Cappy to Kathy, and I was like, I feel like I'm speaking another language. I don't like this at all.
I didn't have much creativity then, as far as like giving myself, and I should have just thought Kat. I mean, it's like the first part of it's in my name.
You were revising yourself. The important thing is that you were like revising yourself.
I was, and I like to do that.
Of her.
Absolutely, and I like to do that. And I've even, I have a new persona now, and it's Kitty. Like I really like that.
Yeah, but Kitty Smithwick.
But I don't really like. Nobody calls me that, but I would be okay if they did. So it's all like, if you look at it, it's like, it's all kind of the same thing. Katrina is Kathleen or Catherine in a different language.
But you always kept your K.
I always kept my K. Yeah, I never changed the K.
So here's an important thing to remember about the first letter of your name. be it your nickname, your choosing, whatever. But the first letter that you represent yourself with, it basically lines up how all the other letters are going to act with this as its like film, right? It's like the door that you walk through and then you see the other letters that are supporting it. This is the main character. The rest of them are like supporting actors. So her always keeping her K is probably the most truest letter to her ever. Whereas in my case with my husband, his first name would be Anthony. That would have been an A. And since he never went by that, has never felt that name, is even, even now when he says it, I feel like he doesn't really believe it's his name. We say it with a little tone because we made our own meme, like just the two of us. It's not out there on the internet, but it's from a show where this girl goes, Anthony, make me a sandwich, Anthony. And she has that voice. And so anytime we hear the name Anthony for him, both of us go into that immediately. Like we can't help ourselves. So him being the T, that is the letter that most defines him and his personality. And yes, it fits him to a T. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the T since we're talking about your husband.
Oh, boy.
Because I have T in my name, and it's one of the letters I was going to cover.
And because Tracy was just asking
about Tracy,
hers.
yeah, we got Tracy too.
Yes.
And okay, so the T, and you can't see what's written here, unfortunately, but I will read it to you. Let's be friends.
So yeah, all right. Each of the letters, you guys, this is my own thinking. She doesn't do this in the books.
Jamie made up something?
Yes, because I need things to remember shit by. Okay, so I make really easy systems for myself. Like, here the M is called the mountain. All right, but because there's correlations, because a tree acts like something. Yes, tree and T, they go together, but it's because there are things about a tree that are very true about the letter T. So you'll see that as I go through the letters, that they all kind of get their own little like.
Okay, so Jamie named the T, Let's Be Friends.
Let's be friends.
Okay, so what we have here, of course, is a single line and a cross. And I always thought this was.
It could be a cross. They talk about the crossroads of the T.
But this is protection. So this top line.
The way the T is built.
The way the T is built is protection.
Like a roof. Or like branches of
and
a tree.
Also this is the depiction of this is like somebody carrying a lot on their shoulders. So you could imagine that this is also your shoulders and there's a lot of weight on it.
Yeah.
This is somebody who needs peace and needs meaning, like spiritual. They need meaning in their life, like spirituality or religion. They've got to have some other meaning outside of themselves. Now that's the positive sides of the T. Also, this T could be like, this also provides shelter. So you see like under the T, you've got shelter. So a tree to find shelter under.
Yeah. Since she's doing the T, I have a really cute way that I always describe T. People that have T as their first letter, they are the ones that people run to and get under the tree for safety. So it's like, come, let's be friends. Be my friends. Get under here. Come here, everybody.
Yeah.
Hide under the tree. That's how people with T names can be perceived as well. As like, they are the ones that are going to be that stronger protector type where it's like, hide underneath them or gather around them. So that's why I call it like the let's be friends. Cause it's always like, but there's
I think that's a good way to remember it.
It's the tree that you hide under or that you gather under during a rainstorm.
So I told you the positives with the letter T, people with the first name. And Tracy, you can confirm if this is you, that you need peace and
you carry a lot on your shoulders,
that you carry a lot on your shoulders, or that you're also the one that people come and gather around or gather, for shelter, you have people. So you can let us know if that describes you at all. So on the negative,
everything has to have balance. We have to have light and dark. There's never just something that is like all good, all bad. And that's not even really the way to say it. I think about it in terms of negatives and positives. And when we think about negatives and positives, they're not absolute. They are, here's some things that can be really positive about this letter. Here's some things when they're out of balance, right? So in balance versus out of balance. And I didn't write that on the paper.
Yeah, but I mean, that's everything. So Tracy says, yep, that's me to a T.
To a T.
Thank you for confirming that.
Yes.
Okay, so the opposite, the negative side of it, I'm not sure the better word to use for that.
The unbalanced side. Like when a T is unbalanced, when a T is out of balance.
When a T is tipped.
Yeah, if it falls over, I mean, when it gets struck by lightning, when somebody wrongs it.
A temper. have a temper.
T's can have temper. And
Yeah.
it's not about everything though. Like usually a T has a temper about a specific thing. They have like, what are those called? Not an ism. When people have like with a particular thing, they have a,
Yeah, it's just something that really like gets on their nerves.
Yeah.
That, you know,
it's like the thing that really irritates them.
Yeah, like the one thing that you don't ever want to do.
Yeah, like
right?
don't throw wet towels on the floor.
Don't leave the cap off the toothpaste. Squeeze from the bottom of the. See, you know, people that insist on screaming from the bottom of the toothpaste tube drive me crazy. I'm like, what's the big deal? I mean, but my ex was like that. He always had to have
very particular.
He was very particular about the tube of toothpaste, and I was not. And I know I drove him absolutely crazy. And you know what? Now I get great joy in understanding that I drove him crazy with the toothpaste tube. At the time, I was like, oh, sorry.
So innocent. I didn't know. I forgot.
Now I don't care. Now I would probably torture him with it if we were still together and I had that information and I knew what I knew then.
I knew what I knew.
If I knew, yeah. Okay. So one more thing negative about a T, people with the
when they're unbalanced.
When they're unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
Poor me syndrome.
It is, yeah. It is. Me. Which so you can see where like that poor me syndrome that comes out when a T is unbalanced is like, I take care of everybody and nobody cares about me, or I do everything and nobody's doing anything for me, or because you're still relating it to the like, let's be friends, and they want to shelter people and they want that happiness. And then if they're missing something, if they don't get something in return, or it's like, it's, you know,
Tracy, and you can admit, I'm going to admit something really personal when it comes to the K.
Oh my gosh.
That Jamie told me about, and I'm going to admit a really personal habit
so
that because K stands for kleptomaniac too. But Tracy, if you want, you can admit or not whether you see that in yourself. Like, do you have a temper about certain things, like toothpaste or whatever, you know, shoes by the door or something like that?
I think we all have like little things that are like, that's the worst.
She wants to know if we were listening to her therapy session. No, we weren't. But
the letters don't lie. I'm telling you, it's so interesting. That's the funnest part of them is when you tell somebody else about their name, they're going, holy shit, how did you know all that? It's so wild.
Like I said, you know, I've been in a room with her, around people with her, when she just all of a sudden starts spouting all this information off. And I'm like, it's fascinating. And the people are like blown away. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to go on to K for Kat or Katrina. So Jamie calls this one Master of Self, and this is and do you want to tell us why you came up with Master of Self for the K?
I also want to explain that there's letters in the alphabet. No, the letters in the alphabet are divided into like, I forgot to say all of this. I'm sorry, guys. I was a little unbalanced at the beginning of this because we're
going to talk about J's in a minute.
Yeah, you're going to see my J stuff come out. The way that the letters are written, letters are actually pictures, and so a lot of times it's good to have a visual picture of what you like, how that letter fits a picture of what it's representing. Which is why, you know, they think of the tree as the T, right? And I didn't put that on there because I just thought I'd talk about it, but it's the Let's Be Friends letter. But with the K, you have these letters, if you notice in the alphabet, all capitals. So think about it only in capital letters, where if you were to fold them in half, they would match. Or if you would bend them in half this way, they would match. So you've got this symmetry within them. And letters that are able to do that are balancing letters. And the reason that they're placed in the alphabet and in names is because they bring balance, or that's their goal. Their goal is to seek balance between two parts, and you have this line through the middle of them. It's an imaginary line, except in the case of like the A, there's an actual line through the middle of it, but that's called a balancing line. And the above part of the letter is always going to tell you what's going on with them spiritually. What does this letter mean? What is it like? What does it want spiritually? Is it closed off? Is it open? What's it like? The bottom part is the physical or the material part. This is about our earthly experiences. This is like
as above, so below.
It is.
It's the same principle.
And the as within, so without. But so when we're talking about the bottom part, we are talking about the things that are in the physical world. So this tends to go towards material items, maybe our ego. It's all the things that are really, I don't want to say unhealthy about the earth, but in excess are unhealthy, where we're really trying to reach that spiritual realm of growth It's sort of looking at ourselves in an all loving capacity where we're having like better experiences rather than being down here more wrapped up in what can I get from this person? How can I lie? How can I deceive them? How can I, where can I get in at? What's my move? You're doing all the unbalanced traits usually come from that lower part of the letter because that's the material or the physical side of the letter. Whereas the better traits come from the top side of it. But as we know with spiritual stuff, when you're an enlightened person, you feel everything. And that's why with the T, you have that protective roof. You have those tree limbs protecting everything. But that can feel really heavy being responsible for everything, right? So you still need balance. Even when you have a letter that is like, this letter is so spiritual, there's still a heaviness to it because it adds a lot of responsibility to the letter or the person having it in their name to carry the weight of that. So K is one of those balancing letters. And that's why it's called mastery of self, because we need balance in order to master ourselves here on the physical plane.
So I'm just going to go through. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to hold it up because I want to point to different parts of the K. So here's the balance line right here where the K, where these two come together.
Yeah.
So right here is the balance line. And then up above that balance line is divine love. And below it is human love. So again, as Jamie was saying, like the spiritual self and then the earthly self, or the earthly experience or earthly matters. In here, in this little opening right here, that says, again, it's the higher self or higher. This is
spiritual side.
Spiritual side.
Yeah.
This is open to enlightenment. This area here.
Yeah.
And this is the bottom part of this is open to material gain. So
you can see where these two parts of the letter are opposites.
Yeah, they're opposites. Yep.
So you have
but
to
if you fold them in half
yourself,
together, then you have like the perfect. You have the perfect.
You have
thing.
an A without the line through it almost. But it's like that because we can see it from these two sides when you have the letters. And hers are exactly the same. She has the same opportunities to invite spiritual things or get stuck in the stuff, gain more, get more. I need money. I want, that. So that's why it's a balancing act. That's why you have to master yourself with it. Like you have to decide how much is too much, how much is enough, where do I go with this? So the letters don't dictate anything. What they are is lessons for us to explore for ourselves. Cat could be, or has been maybe, more on that bottom one where you're really open to all the material gain, the stuff, the things that I can get. I need a house. I need a car. What makes me successful? How do I define myself? What's my ego need? Versus now where I think you just really don't give a shit about a lot of stuff. You want things to have meaning, right? You get beyond, you go through lessons and now it's like, oh, that top part of the K is like more, that's more what I'm filtering things through now. But when you're young and in survival mode, I mean, how many times were you just trying to survive?
Yeah. For a long time.
Not that they're bad. This is where it's balanced versus unbalanced, right? That's why we think of it as, I wrote them in as negative positives, but I should have wrote above each one when it's in balance versus out of balance.
Okay, so in balance. So first of all, this is ruled by Venus, the planet of love.
It is a love letter, K.
K is a love letter?
It is a love letter because it's ruled by Venus, which is, not all letters and stuff are ruled by Venus or by planets by any means. But that open valley doubled like that, that's why. Love of spiritual, love of material.
And it's also open to enlightened opportunities. So that's another imbalance attribute.
When you're in balance, yeah.
Now, for the out of balance, this is somebody who is overly sensitive, could be. Too much love for the material world. Oh boy, do I relate to that. And then kind of like thievery, lying, and hidden motives. Okay, so this is where the confession comes in. So my sister, I'm going to blame it on my sister Maria. My sister Maria taught me to steal candy from the 7-Eleven when I was like 9 years old. Now, mind you, she was like 3 years. She's 3 years younger than me, she's still alive, bless her heart. But anyway, I don't know how she learned to steal candy from the 7-Eleven store that was by our house when we were growing up. But one day she takes me in there and teaches me and my other sister, who was like 4 years younger, my other sister Nancy, and maybe even my little brother John. I don't know. He must have been like
She's
4
the
at that
culprit
time.
of it all.
Yeah, she was like the leader of the gang. There was a little band of
Oh my gosh.
misfits and kids in dirty clothes, poor kids, going into the 7-Eleven and stealing candy. And so we would go in there and stuff candy down our pants and then get out of the store and go into the woods and eat all the candy before we got home. But that kind of set me up for learning that I could get things for free. So then when I got into my teenage years, you know, I stole other things, makeup, you know. This was in the 70s, so there weren't nearly the like cameras and all the things they have now. It had to be like somebody watching you. So it's pretty easy to steal stuff. But yeah, I was kind of a kleptomaniac. Like I would steal things from people. This is really embarrassing to say, but I would take things from people's house. And here was my thing. It was like I would see something.
How'd you justify it? I want to hear that.
Well, I mean, my thing is like I would see something and it would be always something really small, right? Like a spoon that I fancied.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that you'd be like, this is worth a lot of money.
Yeah, nothing had probably any value to anybody else, but it was something that like caught my eye and I liked it. And it was like, oh, I don't know if I said to myself, they'll never miss it, or I want it and I deserve it. I'm not sure what my rationale was, but I had sticky fingers, you know, and you really didn't want to trust me around your shit because it might disappear. And that was me for a while in my teenage years, like for real. And it's really embarrassing to say that, but it was a long time ago. So, and I've evolved. Although every now and then something comes over me and I will do something like that. Now, I would never take anything from anyone's house because I really do think that that's wrong, but I don't have a problem. I'm not going to say that. I do have a problem with it. Anyway, I've had recently, even just one time, I had an incident here in Florida where
recently, she's talking like 7-8 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's not that recent.
Well, okay, so here's what I'm just going to tell you what happened because it's not as horrible as I don't want to admit it. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to
because it's embarrassing because you're like, why?
I know why, like, right?
Why?
Okay, so I went into this like cheap seafood restaurant that we have here. It's terrible.
Disgusting seafood
terrible
restaurant.
food. You know, it's all dark in there. I'm justifying my actions because they're not very. I'm setting them up to be the bad guys so I can not look as bad.
This is so brave of you, by the way.
Yeah, I hope nobody I know sees this. Like, if anyone from my work was ever see this would be so humiliating. But anyway, they in the bathroom they had like some scrubbing salt type of stuff, you know, and then they had a spoon in it. It was a little baby spoon type thing, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, I want it. So I stuck it in my purse and took it. And then I told my girls about it, and oh my God.
Did we ever shame her? I was so shocked. I was like, you're joking. I was like, that is the silliest thing I've ever heard. I was like, Mom, you're like 55 years old. What are you doing? What? This is goofy. And her cute little face. Her cute face, first off, I've always kind of seen my mom as younger than me. Like, she has very kid-like things that I just perceive her that way, you know, not that she acts young by any means, but there's just things about her that are childlike to me, you know, like when she's walking or doing something, it's just like, la, 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 like she's such a kid to me sometimes. So when she told me this, I was like, you gotta be joking. Like, that's a joke. She's like, nope. And then she showed us and I was like, it's horrible looking. It's all bent up and looked like somebody chewed it up in the garbage disposal. I was like,
I don't know. Something came over me, and I was like,
it was her last bit of, what would you call that?
Yeah, it was the last thing I had to get out. That I had, I guess, take something that wasn't mine, and then realize, you know. And I think what helped me to like break the cycle of doing that was, you know, admitting it to my kids, and then my kids making fun of me and being like, that's just ridiculous, and me actually like internalizing how stupid that is and how I mean, I could buy a nicer spoon than that, right? Like, what was the problem with that spoon? I don't know how to explain it. So then I tried to return it,
it's the K's fault. That's it. Now you know you can blame some of your weird traits on your letters in your name.
It's the cave's fault. It says thievery and lying, and
does.
I
Because that's the material side, right? It's
Yeah,
like you
the
get sucked up
material
into this, like, well, there's a love of the material world, so
but-
you see all these little things you like and like collector stuff.
listen. My
so.
kids shamed me so bad, which I deserved. I totally deserved it.
Okay, so what happened in the
And
spoon?
then, I went to take it back to the
to the restaurant.
I went to take it back to the restaurant.
No, we got to keep going.
And I just couldn't go in, so I just threw it in the bushes.
She like returned it to the property, but not properly.
I returned it to the property, but I just couldn't bring myself to go in, and I cannot even believe that I'm admitting this on the internet.
You know what I think?
This is gonna live forever.
It does.
It's so embarrassing.
But here's what I think. I think that when whoever owned that soap scrub stuff that the spoon was sitting in, they were probably like, oh, I finally have to buy a new one because there's not another spoon. Because I'm telling you, this spoon looked like it had been through so much. Like, I'm not kidding you. I don't know how you get a spoon to be so crushed and like clawed at, a little tiny spoon. What's really funny is that then my brother heard about this, right?
Yes, my son. That's the last part of the story.
Okay,
of this is
you
that
tell it.
my son, when my son found out about this, one day a package arrives on my doorstep from Amazon, and I open it up, and it's like a whole collection of these little tiny spoons with designs on them and like crystals on them and shit like that.
Witchy,
And I was
little
like,
cute
just
witchy
like cute little
spoons.
witchy spoons,
Yeah.
and I was just like, of course, I laughed my ass off about it because I knew, the spoon thing, right? So I well, I guess when I think about this, I'm like, there was a time in my life when I was really fucking poor. There was a time in my life when I was a runaway and lived on the streets of LA for like 3 months, right? And had nothing, had absolutely nothing, was getting food out of trash cans behind the hostess, store and stuff like that. So there's like this part of me that is always going to be, there's that part of me inside of me who's that teenage kid with nothing, with like no family, ward of the state of California, parents don't want you. And then you're just like, fuck it. I'm just going to be a rebel and do what the fuck I want out in the world because nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a fuck anyway. So screw it. I'll just take what I want from the world. So there's that little, that way down deep inside of me, last remaining unhealed part. I guess
that last little rebellious thing that was like, where she sees it, she's like, that's cute.
Oh, thank you, Tracy.
Yeah.
I would have done that too. Oh,
listen.
Okay. All right. So we did T for Tracy, K for Kat. Do we want to do J for Jamie?
You want to do?
Yeah, let's do J for Jamie.
That's hilarious.
And then I don't know if we have an order to this because we're having fun with it.
I don't know that. Well, no, I don't know that it's very fair because my letter is obnoxious.
Is it?
Well,
okay. So I should tell you how I named my kids. So when I was pregnant with my son, I wanted a boy. I really wanted a boy. Because I was the daughter of a mother who didn't love me. I felt she probably did, but she didn't act like it. And so I was afraid to have daughters because I was afraid of what that dynamic might be, that the same dynamic that I had with my own mother might reoccur if I was to have a female child. And so I really wanted a boy. And in 1977, when my son was born, there was no test. There was no finding out, there was no like ultrasound, any of the stuff that you can do now, you can find out what you're going to have. But I wanted a boy so bad that I think I willed it to happen. And I wanted my son to be named, I wanted to call him Jonathan, but his father was such a pussy that he's like, that's a sissy name. So Jonathan, he thought that was a sissy name. And I really liked it. I thought I thought it was a nice name, but he wouldn't let me name him Jonathan. So I named him John, Jon. And then when Jamie was born, I had 2 names picked out when I was pregnant with Jamie, which was 1980. I had 2 names picked out for her. And I thought her name was going to be Carrie, Keri. And I don't remember the boy names now because I know I had boy names picked out, but I don't know what they are.
No, you never told me the boy names.
I don't remember, but Carrie, Keri, and then Jamie, Jayme. And I didn't know, I was really leaning toward Carrie because Carrie was a good friend of her dad's that we really liked. His name was Kerry, but he was like Dad's best best friend, best friend forever and stuff. But when she was born and I saw her face, I was like, that's a Jamie. That's not she's a Jamie. And I knew, I was like, so I picked her name. So she said it's obnoxious. And then with Jolene, I think you guys have heard the story of Jolene. It's like we had 2 J's already, my husband and I, John and a Jamie, and we were concerned that if we didn't name the last child a J name, that she might feel left out. So that's how we came up with Jolene. And we had to work really hard because then everybody was Jessica, Jennifer, all the popular J names, whatever the other ones are. There's plenty.
That's what I got called a lot in school too. Nobody ever remembered Jamie. They were like, Jessica? Jennifer?
Yeah. So everybody had those names. Those names were super popular in like 85, 86, around that time. And we did not want her to have everybody else's name. We wanted her to have something like her own name. Just say, okay. So that's the story of how I got 3 J's, how I have 3 kids, all with J names. And now Jamie will tell you about, and she really likes her name, by the way.
I love my name. I love how people call me Jame and Jane and Janae. And if you have an accent of any kind, it's Jimmy. Jimmy, what are you doing, Jimmy? So I have been called lots of different names with my very plain Jame name. But yes, so the J is very interesting because when we look back at, where's our letter thing, Mom? Where's the thing?
Oh, right here.
Okay. This is why this becomes important because as we go through numerology, gosh, that is so light. I very much apologize, you guys, but this is called the numerology letter chart. The first row of letters 1 through 9 are A through I. Then we go to the second row. What that means for the letters intensities is that you have A being a 1 letter. It's the starter. We haven't got to A yet, but it's the breath of life in people. It's like the thing we need just to be, it's a house, a car. It literally identifies us as existing. So that's A. When we go down to the next number 1 letter, which would be J, this is like a 1, but added with like a God element. And that's why I say when in her book, she talks about this God element thing where you're intensifying it, almost how we tend to see double numbers or triple numbers as angel numbers and special numbers, because when something is doubled, it's like it's that much more powerful, and power being a very loose word for energetically more meaningful because it comes sequentially.
I just want to stop you for 1 second and let's say hi to Melissa. She just joined us. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for being here.
Hi. We haven't gone through any of your letters just yet.
No, we're gonna get to that.
Yes.
We'll do M next since Melissa's here.
Yeah,
because we've done Tracy and
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So with J, the picture that you can remember is J is a finger pointing upward, and it literally means from above.
And there's your J.
No, flip it.
Oh,
that looks. That is like L but backwards. So
you guys,
flip it. It's a J because then it gives it more of that shape, right? With the cup.
Yeah,
right?
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. So J means from above. Now, like I said, this is going to make me sound really extra, but I do love the letter J throughout history in different languages and different cultures. Like it's obviously not always the J. It has a different meaning, but what it derived from has meant some really interesting things. And when you get into like prophet people and, the name Jesus and like it wasn't Jesus before and all the things. So anyways, this is the first letter we come to where it really talks about past and present. So in front of your letter, this is harder to see, but I wrote for J, you have a past, not a present. I always say that it's the future, a past and a future. This is where the letter is open to the future, open to the past, open to both, closed to both. Like that's just something that it thinks about. Okay. So it also gives you a station of how that letter sees the world. J is actually turning backwards, which is so true. There's a lot of thinking about the old shit. It's about remembering the past. It's about knowledge and history and memories. And that cup that the J has, that little cup at the bottom, that is what allows the letter, people with that letter in their name, to hold memories, to hold knowledge. That's why they're usually people with good memories that know stories or like to retell stories. The part that Kat was being funny about is like, this is maybe the first letter that we're looking at that has the rocker. Okay, it sits on a rocker. It's curved like a U sits on a rocker. That is its unstable base. So, like the T, yeah, when it's overloaded, it's like, I'm going to lose my shit here in a minute. I can't handle it. So, letters that sit on a rocking base, when they are overwhelmed by the things that overwhelm them, it's not like it's, you can't handle stress. No, I've been in lots of stressful situations and I can handle it just fine. But there are certain things, certain times, like right now I'm on my period. I really don't have a lot of patience. I'm trying. I'm trying not to cry, and I'm trying to just hold it all together, right, when something goes wrong. But that's why I just don't do a lot during those days. I'm like, I just don't need to stress myself out. But that would be something that would affect the rocker in my J, where I would act out of character normally, right? So the things when they stress you out, that letter starts to wobble in your name. Now, because this is my first letter, it really does stand for like what the rest of my name means. And when we get to A is also a supportive letter, which has a lot of strength and leadership. So I tend to lose my shit a little less than most people because I have very good supporting letters within my name. A and M, E is good, Y is okay. But I love Y. So that rocker base can really let you know that when people with rocker letters become unhinged, it's like a quick, like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. Like, are you okay? And then they probably just cry, because most of the letters with cups, they just cry about it. Like, it's just like, I need a release and then I'll be okay. But it's a cathartic release. So then everything's fine. And you're like, just let it happen. It's totally fine. So with J, the thing that they need the most is a place in life that matters. So they need something to be fighting for, working towards. They need the goals. They want to know that what they're doing matters in the big scheme of things. They're usually leaders with creative solutions. So we haven't gone through A, which is the first letter. This is why I wanted to do it in order, but that's fine, because then we would build on each one, but it's okay. So
I totally messed that up.
No, my Virgo side was like, but it is really fine. So with J, like A is a leader because it starts everything, but then J is that second iteration of it. So it's like leader with creativity. And then the last letter that we'll go to is S, and that's even more of a thing where you get more and more creative. The further that you get from the letter A, the more deep the letters get, the more meaning, the more like they need to be soulful, they need to be found their purpose. That's just what happens.
And just to remind you, if you can see that, you see under one you got AJS and then BBGK. So that's what she means by going deeper.
Yeah,
she's
each
talking
level,
about going
the three
deeper,
levels.
like the 3 levels of the numerology literature.
Yes. So J's they're creative leaders. So they just have, because they have that little cup of shit to pull from, they're just very creative. They're self-reliant. They really don't want to ask other people for help. They'd rather figure it out themselves. That's because their line falls, like their knowledge is in the past versus like everything being open to the future. They're not open to the future. They're not open to asking people for other stuff. They're like, no, I'll figure it out on my own. Very self-reliant. That's something that is, I don't know if that would be an out of balance or imbalance thing, but I think it's something that I've definitely had to work on, is to be able to ask for help. See, this is me feeling like I'm just like popping my collar. They're witty, humorous, cautious, and clever. And I'm like,
well, let me share something with you. If I could interrupt for 1 second, because I want to share with you what Melissa has to say. First of all, she said her mom's name is Kathy. Her cat's name is Jolene.
What?
And her boyfriend's name is Jeff. And she just said that she's laughing because what you just said perfectly describes Jeff. He's not afraid to shed a tear.
No, and that's so good. It's so healthy.
Oh my God.
And as long as you know that that's like your thing to do, like with the T is like all loving and, it wants to like comfort and help people. But as soon as there's something that's wrong, it's like, I need peace. I need you all to fuck off for a minute and I just need peace. Then I'll invite you back to the house. But like right now,
leave me alone.
Clear it out. Yeah. And
I was with a T for 15 years. I can say that that's pretty accurate, that he just needed to be like, he needed space
and peace.
He would need space.
Yeah.
Usually. And he was usually like, he was very much had people always come into him. And So
They
anyway,
are.
sorry to interrupt. Go
So
ahead.
the unbalanced side of J, number one, they're dishonest, right? Because they do think that they know everything. They don't want to admit when they're wrong. That's really hard for them to do. And I vouch for that 100%. My husband and I remember when my sister told me, we were all just friends, but my sister knew my husband first. We were all friends together. And then one night we were just out. It was like our third night all hanging out together. I had just met him. And so we weren't even thinking about dating, let alone marriage and a whole long relationship. She said, you two are perfect for each other. You both think you know everything. It's like, and we just looked at each other and we're like, yep, pretty much. That's how we are. So the dishonest side of a J is that you have so much belief in yourself. You really don't want other people to not believe in you. So you could lie about your credentials. You could lie about things that happen. You could fluff yourself up to make yourself seem better than anything. I don't do that. I'm a terrible liar. My mom can tell you. And she told me that since I was young. So I just don't do it because I'm like, I don't get caught. Don't tell me a secret either. I'm really bad about, like, I just want everybody to know the truth all the time. I'm like, I'd rather just live in this world where we don't have secrets. It'd be better. But procrastinates is the other unbalanced one. Oh, I fully own that one with like several badges across my little thing. I procrastinate like the biggest, proudest procrastinator ever. I feel like I need a deadline to push me. I don't know. So I procrastinate until it becomes absolutely necessary, and then I do it. But I also have ADHD, so I don't know. So. Is it my J or is it ADHD? Maybe it's both. Maybe that's why I'm so good at procrastinating. I have two things supporting that. So that's the J, and I just love it because it's like it's a hand signal. Before we wrote and did things, right? We did hand signals, and we, motion to people what we were doing. And when I learned sign language, that was one of the most fun things I ever did. Talking with your hands instead of your mouth to try to interpret like the signs that people are giving. All of that communication is a lot of fun. So that's the J. I probably
okay. Now I know. Do you? So we have Melissa here. We could do the M if you're prepared to do M.
Yeah. I
think you have M. So Melissa, we're going to do.
It's not very written out yet, but
okay. Well, I bet you can. Yeah. I bet you can.
I know M is in my name as well, Jayme. So I know M very, very well.
So what number does M fall under? By the way, like where is
so
it?
DMV would be a 4.
Okay,
because DMV is cars, has wheels. Yeah. So a DMV is a 4-letter, which is the 4 letters are about balance, but we're not doing numerology tonight.
All right, Melissa, this is for you.
So with the M being the first letter of your name, and it's going to set the tone for the whole thing, M is the mountain. And by mountain, this is something that is firmly planted on the ground. This is strong, bold, not moving, not that you're not open to things, because that V in the middle, that little valley, that little dip, does mean that you're perceptive and receptive to the spiritual realm, right? You're not like totally a physical letter. The thing about the M is that it works in 2 ways. When it's out of balance and acts more like water. So you flip that M upside down. We haven't even talked about flipping the letters upside down yet, but the M turns into water, which is what? Not stable, always moving, always shifting, closer to the S, where it just can change directions anytime it wants to. So out of balance, a mountain or the M letter cannot find its course. It doesn't know what it stands for. It doesn't have belief in things. There's nothing grounded about it. An imbalanced M is a very grounded, know what you want, have a plan, work towards things. The openness that comes to you is really from the higher realm of like knowledge, spirituality, like what can I do for the good of things?
Feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Feet firmly planted on the ground.
Yes. There are several letters, like with Kat's letter, the way it's positioned, her leg sticks out. It's not firmly planted on the ground for the K. So when you see like M and A, they have like their feet literally boom on the ground.
Yep.
That's what that means. So you can kind of devise that a letter that looks like that is going to be somebody who their ideals, opinions, and the way that they are is pretty set. Change is harder for them. That would be one of the unbalanced things, is that when you want to make a change, it can feel very hard. It can feel like moving a mountain. It's like, the situations that come up are also making a mountain out of a molehill. So you get in this idea that like what you see is what is actually there. M is a materialistic letter. It does represent our physical world. It represents the element of earth, even as like the ground that we walk on. So for M's, things need to be pretty realistic. That's why they're very good managers, because they can see what is actually going on. Like their perception of reality is more real than a lot of other people. Like they don't live in their head like a J might, or the open letters. Like J, I didn't talk about the J has that little line on top of it, and it has a little line, not like the T has a whole line. And that's considered like a little crown, where it's like you could really live in your head if you want to. You've got a little flick up there that just like turns on, and then you just get stuck. The M doesn't have that. It has the openness to receive, so it can see in those directions, but not get stuck in it.
So Melissa, you can comment if you want to about what you think, if this aligns with, who you are.
Do you feel like you're an unmovable mountain and change is hard?
Do you feel your feet are planted? Are you a good manager? Are your feet planted firmly on the ground? Do you
when you get unbalanced, does it feel like water, like you don't know which way to go?
Oh yeah, I'm a Aries Taurus cusp, and I feel more aligned to Taurus. And yes, she said that. Yeah, she says yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for
M's are great letters, because they really allow us, if you're a super spiritual person, or like for your name, you've got ELISSA, I'm assuming. Spelled the regular Melissa way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 S's in your name, girl. Ooh. So change comes, and you might not like it, because you're supported by your M first. So, and then L we're going to get into, which is like a door that things leak underneath. So you can change, but it has to be like up to you. Like you've really got to own that. Maybe it has to be your idea. And Melissa ending in an A. Yeah. With E and knowledge. I know I could literally.
She could talk about this, and it's fascinating. Hours. I love this.
What's the next letter you want me to do?
Is
there anybody else on the chat right now that has a first letter of their name?
We could do Tracy. What about the last? You want to do the first of? No, we just have Melissa and Tracy at the moment.
Perfect. Yeah, that works for me.
But Melissa is. I think that's your last name, Melissa, with an F. Starts with an F. Fauna. And then Tracy, of course, is long. So I don't know if you want to do the...
Well, no, let's get into the other letters of the names. Like you did yours. Did we do A?
We did not do A.
Do A.
Okay.
A is the first letter.
A,
it is very important.
One, there you go. It's the very first one. Yeah. Leads the pack. So...
Leads the pack.
So A is a nose shape.
It is. Well, remember, I think of pictures with all of this stuff, okay? Like I want to imagine a picture. So for M, it was mountains. For T, it's a tree. For J, it's the finger pointing upwards.
And I know she's got a reason for calling this breath of life, because this
is the nose. It's literally the breath of life. A represents the start of everything. We're not alive until we breathe breath.
Yeah.
I mean, technically we're alive in the bellies, but all of that can be like blah, 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 blah. But in the spiritual beliefs of the person who really wrote about this and delve into everything, breath was the first sign of life. Like go back to the ancient days. Like we knew things were alive in the belly, but things could terminate, blah, 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 blah. When you first took in a breath as a infant and then cried, they were like, it's alive. I don't know. That is where the first letter starts at. And most of the languages that have letters like ours, they all start with A. So A is like the beginning of all the alphabets as well. A equals alpha. I mean, this is where people started journeys, stories, organizations. It starts with an A, and it starts at a house, within a car, within a city, within a country. So that is all a signifier of like the starting of something.
Also, you notice we've got feet firmly planted on the ground,
which means that they're very stable. And although I think about A being the nose, I also can think about it as like a person standing with their feet wide-legged, right? So if you're standing with your feet together and you're just standing there like the letter I, somebody could push you over. But if you're standing there with like your feet spread and firmly on the ground, kind of like how the M is, same thing. It's like wide stance, like ready to go. Nobody's going to budge you. You're not moving. So these make very good leaders. Oh, sorry. You were going to say that, huh?
Oh, no, not yet. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I haven't got there yet.
Also, this is a lesson in self-control. So not all of the letters have big things like that, but the reason that this is a lesson in self-control is because you have to figure out why you're breathing. Why are you here? What's your purpose? What's the A? Where's your why'd you do this? Why'd you commit to
You're
this?
a what? A what? You're a fill in the blank.
There you go.
Right?
It's one of our bigger questions in life is finding our purpose. And so this is a lesson in self-control where we could come to this plane and totally act up and be disgraceful and fucking awful and just do bad things.
Well,
or
we actually have the imbalance, out of balance, couple traits for those. The imbalance, leadership and character strength.
Yep.
And then out of balance, self-centered, and only think of its self. And I'm not sure why its is in quote.
Because it's not itself, but it's whatever the it thing is. Like, it's my life, it's my job, that's my car, this is my
so it
clothes.
comes from a car to my car.
Yeah. So it becomes possessive. I guess that's the best way to describe it. But the A can get to where it only thinks about what's good for it and nobody else. And I've been in that survival mode before because mine's JA. So
I'm KA.
I got self-righteous enough to be like, I'm in this only for me and I'm not going to worry about other people. It didn't last long. I'm not good at that. I tried to hurt somebody's feelings one time. I felt horrible after I did it. I really was like, I don't ever want to do that again. He deserved it. I know he deserved it, but I embarrassed him. And the only thing I look back on is it really changed his life. I outed him in front of the whole class. So, he shouldn't have hurt my friend. Oh, it was just one of those boys that's like, I'm going to date her for a week and then I'm going to move on to her friend. And so I pretended to like him, lure him into a lake, have him strip his shorts off, then take him and run away. And then he wrote me a note later in class and gave it to me. And I was like, oh, this should be good. So one of my guy friends was like, what's it say? And I was like, read it to the class. I just gave it. I didn't even know what it said. It was very embarrassing for him. I felt pretty bad, but I was like, you need to pay now. I don't want to wait for karma. You need to pay right now. What you did to my friend Denise was horrible. So, and that was the last time I really purposely hurt somebody's feelings.
It's just not in Jamie's nature to try and.
I would rather just walk away.
To hurt people's feelings.
I would
It's just not.
That's
my realm. So.
Well, you're also Scorpio.
I'm Scorpio, so that's my Mars. I can't. I'm not totally in control all the time. So.
I did not tell my mom things that were happening. She's like, "Let's go beat their ass." I'm like, "Mom, no."
Thankfully, I learn a lot from my daughter because, I see how she handles herself in stressful situations or under, or whatever, even with people who are not kind to her and are rude and stuff like that. And she just is, it's inspiring for me to have somebody to be able to just like brush that off and not let me. I'm like, you
take it personally.
That's personal, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay.
You take it personally.
I do.
I don't know. For me,
not so much anymore now that I'm older and I have some experience and I'm in a different place. I'm hopefully a more elevated place than I was because I don't feel that way now. But man, when I was younger, that was definitely.
It's also a place of survival. Like that's where people go, survival, which you went through that for a lot of years.
Yep.
All right. Are these all the letters we've done?
These are the letters we've done.
Okay. So I'm going to move on to E. There's no order to this now. And I'm trying very hard to not let that bother me.
Okay. Well, we can't really order it.
No, there's no order. I don't have all the letters.
Did you notice the tone?
No,
not now.
Not now.
I fucked it all up for her. Hold on, I have to highlight.
E is good.
You guys know what an E looks like, but I'm gonna just make it darker for you because we're gonna explain, or Jamie's gonna explain.
When you see the letter E,
the E,
I want you to imagine, turn it on its side, maybe the other way where the open end is down. There you go. This is books on a shelf. Okay, so just imagine that this pattern repeats itself and it's books on a shelf because E represents knowledge. E is the knowledge letter. This is all about gaining knowledge, getting knowledge, using knowledge. It's energized. There's not a lot of negative or unbalanced things when it comes to the letter E. E is mostly all good. It's just like, what can you get from your experiences, from the life you've lived, from the books you read, the music you listen to, documentary, like whatever it is, E is all about knowledge and gaining knowledge. So it's one of our more common letters in all of our names, which how can we go through life without absorbing knowledge? It'd be hard pressed to find names that don't necessarily have an E in them in some capacity, whether it's first, middle, last. Is that Giovanni?
That's Giovanni. My
nephew's about to walk through the door.
Nephew. My grandson. My dog's gonna bark.
Yeah. We're recording.
Tank.
So
sorry about that, you guys.
With the E, you can read off what I wrote, but truly E is just, imagine it as books stacked on a shelf. It's just knowledge. And what do you want to learn? What do you want to pull from it? It will support whatever you want in your life to know. Like, that's a supporting letter.
This is what I noticed is that we have open. So you're open here, open to knowledge,
receive,
open to receive.
So knowledge, like with the J, how it's stored in this cup that you can pull from with memories and use it. Gaining knowledge does not mean that you will keep it. So the other side of it is totally cut off. It doesn't mean that you reach back into it and grab it, but you can always get more. You can always go out and seek more. What's the unbalanced part?
The unbalanced part can be cold and unemotional.
Right. So you think about professors, teachers, doctors that really get in their craft and they're doing it all for the knowledge or the experience, and they stop making human connections with that. They become so sucked into their books that it's like nothing else really. They live in that space. That would be the only unbalanced side of it. But E, E is a great letter. I put, if you want to know, it's like the E in all of our names and our first names allows us that ability to gather knowledge when we need it and to seek it out. Like, I don't know, for people who wouldn't have an E in their name, they might not want to learn much. They might just be like, yeah, I'm okay with being stupid. It's all right. I don't really care. Like, what do I need it for?
Like Patrick.
Who the fuck is Patrick?
I don't know. I just was like, well, I thought Pat, doesn't have an E.
That's such a short, that's more of a
nickname. Wait a minute. Katrina doesn't have an E.
But you have E's in other places. Do you?
In my last
Tingle.
name.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I was about to be scared for you. Have you been somebody that seeks a lot of knowledge, reads a lot of books, does a lot of like knowledge seeking?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
then you have other supporting letters.
So we're I know, because I'm trying to get her back on track because I feel really bad about doing this out of order and driving her Virgo rising side of her crazy. So we're going to back up before E came D. So
D is such a fun letter.
D.
It's the door. D is a door, and you get to decide whether your door is open or closed, and that's it. Like, D is the door. It can look like an open door to you or feel like an open door or a closed door. The space in between, this is the first letter that we're really closing off a space, right? So you've got a room inside. That's how you can think of the letters, like when we come up to that, there's rooms inside of this. So sometimes what people feel is that they are on the outside of everything. They don't fit in, they don't belong, they don't know where they are. Or they can feel trapped on the inside of the letter where it's like, I don't relate to anybody. I can't get there. I can't do that. I'm, like, oh, that's too hard. Too many barriers. I can't get out. So that's why D is a door. You can either think that you're locked inside or outside of the door, that the door is always open or always shut. This is where we find our balance with our letters.
I was just thinking of David with a D at the beginning and a D at the end and a V in the middle.
Yeah. Tough name.
Tough name, David. Tough name. Don't name your kid David. Okay, so imbalance, willing to work hard, fair and honest, out of balance, feeling closed in and closed off, gloomy and opinionated.
And they're opinionated because what they believe they see is facts, right? They can only see the inside of the room. You can't see the room that they're living in, that they believe they're stuck in. You don't. Yeah, the room. And then if they're the gloomy side and they're feeling left out, they have this idea of a party that they're missing out on that they can't get to, and you still don't know what that looks like. So when we come up against people with strong D's in their name that are really like ruling that, where things are shut off, oh my God, I can't do this, everything's too hard, there's like an excuse for everything. They see things as closed off. They find it really hard to have open. So if you were to name somebody with a D name, you want more open letters like the E, a very open letter to things. A C, I don't know what that dance.
Danica.
Dancer and Prancer.
Danica Patrick.
There you go. So the letters and why we don't just go off one letter for deciding what our personality is going to be with our name is because these either support and help you get somewhere, or you've got one bad letter. Like V, I think V is kind of a sucky letter. It's all about struggle. N is all about repeating the same mistakes. Like there are letters that I think that are like harder letters that bring lessons to you that you're constantly having to fucking redo. I'm like, why? But that's just what I've seen.
Okay.
C.
Backing up to the next. This is like,
I'm not even going to know which ones we've done now. It's so funny.
they're here in this file.
That's fine. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because I don't have them all right now. So
oh, okay. You
it's
want
okay. Yeah, I'm going to start crossing them off. Yeah.
So you did KAT.
So A, yeah.
And M.
I did D, E.
J, D, E. And I think that's
not
it.
that many M.
M.
K, T. Not B yet. Oh my gosh.
No B yet.
I love it.
We're going to do B after
So
C.
weird.
So C, the open mouth.
That's the best. The open mouth. That's literally
The
picture for it.
And Jamie literally named her son, picked a C name for him because she wanted him to speak. She wanted him to be.
I wanted him to be able to
articulate.
Yeah, to express himself.
I
think that when I was young, I had a really hard time. I always felt really shy, closed off, like in my head a lot, sort of fantasy world, like maybe I just didn't feel like I could tell people what I dreamed of and what I wanted and how I didn't think of myself as outgoing. Now I can see just the evolution of what I needed to go through to become that person because all those things were inside of me. I just only showed them to like a very select people's, only certain people got to hear me speak. I just never talked. So when I decided to name Cameron with a C, I wanted him to be able to express himself because I was like, I don't know what I'll do with a kid who doesn't talk like me. Like, what the hell will I do? Because in our family, we had all the J names, and Jolene had a child first and named her son Julian. So she continued on with the J. And I definitely felt like I betrayed the family by naming Cameron a C. But I knew what I wanted for him, and I built his name in a way that was like that. So the C is an open mouth, and that means people that are really good with expressing themselves. And it doesn't always have to be in speaking, because Cameron was actually, and still is, a pretty shy kid. He doesn't go around talking to people.
Though. He's only 20. Yeah. I mean,
but he loves music. He can tell you so many facts. Like there's still things about the C name where he can get totally into things if it's something that he's super interested in, and he'll talk forever. Like get him alone, like me, and he won't shut up. And it's great. It's awesome. But the C being that open mouth,
it's also on a rock. It's also on a rocking base. So,
there's something that you can feel. It gets unbalanced. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, that went south fast.
So that the imbalance, good with words, loves to let their light shine, and artistic. Mm-hmm. Out of balance, too serious, or scatters energy, difficulty saving money.
Yeah.
Money, huh?
Yeah. Well, think about it. What is it? Money talks. What is it?
Money talks, bullshit walks.
There you go.
Something like that.
So there's an idea behind people who can excessively talk, that like a car salesman, that just, they're not good, it's skewed as far as what they want. So the C can become that way. They can use their voice for negative things in order to get things. So like they're not good with money, or they're trying to get money out of people, and they use that voice in just more of a negative or an imbalanced way. That's what I think of.
Okay, so we're going to move on to B. We have some letters that we're going to try to get through. So this is going to go a little bit longer for all of you who are here, in case you need to get up and get a drink or something. Yeah. Because I would like us to get through the ones that you've at least, were you working in order like this? Was this the order you're working? So Jamie, until I effed everything up, Jamie was working like AJS, BKT. CLU. Yeah. So that's how she was going to work through it. But her mother stepped in and was like, I want to do my name first because, whatever. Because I didn't know there was supposed to be an order to it. That's my fault. But anyway.
I didn't express that either.
Yeah, she didn't open her mouth.
She saw her letters and she was like, oh, my name. I love this.
Well, I mean, it just like, I was like, hey, I could do this first.
I love it.
Okay, so next is going to be B.
B is the builder. It's the body of our soul. It's the housing unit. It is 2 breasts. It is 2 bumps. It is nourishment.
Boobs.
It's boobs. It is. It's breasts. It's nourishment. So B has a lot of history on it, because it was first seen as a house. These are 2 rooms in a house, sort of like the D, the
Sorry
door.
About that.
What did you do?
I had it. I don't know. I had it backwards or some shit.
Okay.
Anyway, there we go.
But B is about, it's a builder. B builds things, whether it's building your body, building a life, building nourishment, building anything. It builds on something. So when you have B as your first letter, you want to create. You desire like actual creation of something, whether it's within the arts or music or a new program, but like creation is a big part of it. To build something with your hands, your mind, like that's where B goes. Even nourishment, maybe you're like a bodybuilder, like you're building plans for other people. It's a nourishment type of building for sure.
We also have this where if you folded it in half, right?
It's a balancing letter.
So you've got the line, the balance line in the middle. If you fold it in half, it's the same. So it's a balancing letter.
It's a balancing letter.
These, like with the D, closed rooms.
Yep.
These are closed rooms.
So one is a closed room that's spiritual, and the other one would be physical, because remember our letters are divided in that middle balancing line by the spiritual and then like the material or the physical world.
Material.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So some imbalance clings to memories, hold on to.
Yeah. So because the rooms are closed, and this is, it can be considered good or bad or unbalanced or imbalanced, but because the rooms are closed, you store things there. So what do builders do? They create, right? Well, where do they create things that last? They create things that, so you store things there. You can be a collector. You can put things in that build, whatever you're doing, like a shadow box sort of thing. That's what I mean by it's like you hold on to, what do you hold on to? What do you collect? People tend to be collectors.
They're also very sensitive and need affection. On the out of balance side, we have shy, shut in, secret, sneaky, and very fixed opinions.
Yes. So the reason that we have that, like, they need the affection and love. One side of the letter is very straight. That's the opinionated side. That's sort of the like, I'm not moving side. I am who I am. Don't try to change me. But their rockers are facing the future, which always feels uncertain for them. So they need that love and reassurance when you have a B. It's like you need to kind of hold them, or you need to show them love, or you need to reassure them in that way, because the future might always sort of seem, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if people love me. I don't know. There's not a definitive side to it. It's bumpy in the future for them. It's bumpy.
Okay, so we're going to finish out the first set of letters, A, J, S.
Yeah. So when we talked about A and J, we said A is the first letter, J is the next iteration of the first letter, so it's amplified. S is the last letter, so it's super spiritual. For me, I always thought of a snake when I thought of an S, or a river, because of perseverance, right? It keeps cutting through, it keeps pushing on. But S is just, like, to redefine that, it's success, because a snake always sheds so it can keep growing. The river that's persevering, it keeps cutting through so it can keep going. So this is just the letter of success, which is easy because it's what the dollar sign looks like also. It's a great way to think about the S as a dollar sign. It also, in its balance, it is a balancing letter because you can fold it and create like an O. Everything circles itself. It comes back on itself. It's like, it reminds me of the snake. Infinity, the snake eating itself. All of those things sort of tie into it, but if you were to mirror it, it would be the exact same letter, but it's in its third iteration of being the creator type. So people with S names, highly creative. They think a lot about what they create. They imagine. They could almost live in their imagination. Glad I didn't have an S name. A Pisces with an S name, that'd be tough.
All those Steves out there, just.
Well, then they have the T. So, I mean, so you have this like and then the V, like it stops them, but yeah.
Okay, so a self-starter and achiever.
Yeah.
On the balance.
The S is truly the self-starter because of all of its ideas.
Yeah.
And it might start a million projects and never finish any of them. We're not judging. Okay, we're not judging. I'm gonna ask Selena. I'll be like, how much of a creative are you? How much do you start projects and then stop them or get tired of them? Because it's not that S needs to see everything through, but they need to be creating, right? It's just part of them.
I've seen some of her stuff. I think she's pretty creative in doing things like crafty things, because I've seen some of her posts. So
yeah.
Let's see. On the balance side, we have very creative actors and artists, highly intuitive psychics,
because they persevere. Remember that this letter perseveres and changes itself and shifts without, like, in the middle, just changes directions without any warning, just like, I just do what I want. So it gets a creative idea and it's gone. Like that's it. It just changes plans. So that's why actors and artists really fit into this with the S, because they're able to make quick changes and not really feel bad about it. They're like, today my name is Cappy and tomorrow I'm going to be Katrina. And then maybe on Friday I'll be Kitty. Like that's the thing you do.
On the unbalanced side, we have independent to the detriment and thinks too highly of themselves.
Yeah.
And Melissa says, I have 4 S's in my name. This really describes me. I have 30 or so unfinished knit and crochet projects. Oh, girl.
We feel you.
I have a yarn of crochet over there on the table, a whole thing, yarn I bought, different needles. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm like, is this just going to be another thing that I don't fucking finish? I don't know. My heart goes out to you. It really does. And she's quite laughing at that. So that's awesome.
Well, and I love the part that it's like S's can think too highly of themselves, but it's not in like an egotistical way. It's because they've just always done stuff on their own. So they're like, I got it. I don't need your help. It's kind of like the J thing. Like, we don't really want to ask for help. No, we've been doing this. We know we got the intuitive side. We got it. We're good. Yeah.
Okay. So we did under the number 1, we did AJS. Under the letter 2, we did BKT.
Yeah.
And now we're under 3, and we're going to go ahead and finish out 3 with L and U. And Melissa, this is you again, girl, because you've got L. You've got at least one L in your name. So
I love
All right. So we're going to talk about the letter L.
The letter L.
All right. So what are you going to tell?
So I named this letter What Gets Through, because that first line is a door. Now, it's not a door like the D, but it's similar because it's just representing what you see in front of you. What the L letter actually does is it's like, look at the little crack. I'll just sneak right underneath there. I can get through. So L is the letter that gets through. And we can think of some words like line and leak that kind of describe how L gets through. It is something that's pretty opinionated, so they probably feel justified in all of the things that they're doing because they're like, well, I have a good reason for it. And look, I found a way, so why not? I can do that. You know, I'm water that can fit under a door. Why can't I go through there?
Also balanced on Earth, the Earth plane.
It is.
So this, the bottom line here
it's flat on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure. I haven't wrote out all the, I'm not sure that there's another letter that's more balanced with on the Earth side. So that's why the things that L tends to do or be involved with are more about that earthly plane because it feels very stable here. It's like, I got this. I can manipulate the shit out of this place. I got it. And so L is just one of those supporting letters that, depending on what else you have it with, it's like you could see more of that unbalanced side of L, or you can see more of the enlightened, because the entire side, is that what you're about to say?
Yeah. Open.
There's nothing blocking it. So it just is like open to everything. So it can draw from a plethora of what it wants to be behind that door. Like, what are you're getting under the door, but like, what's on the other side for you? So L is so incredibly open. It's just like, what can you imagine? It can be there, you know? So they're it's good with leadership, obviously, L leadership, because you can see potential. You can imagine how things can be. You can solve the problems.
So on the balance side for L, we have encouraging and very open to spiritual, psychic, and the occult.
Yeah, because you can imagine anything, right? Nothing's beyond your limit of imagination.
And then on the unbalanced side, we've got lack of control, no patience, finds fault in everything.
That's because there are no limits. And so you can point to, you can't back that up 100%. There's not there, you can't box it in. You can't put it in a nice neat little box and put a bow on it. And so that's like the person needing to, where the C is open, you know, but it's also focused. The L, which comes directly underneath of it, it's sort of like so wide that you could fall into, it's too much, it's too heavy, I don't know, this is all bullshit. You know, it's like when you have too many options, you don't really feel safe. That's what the L is like. So we go from this super open letter of L to the next iteration from C to L to U. U is the cup, okay? And the cup can be empty or the cup can be way too full and spill over. It's a letter built on a rocker. So just like the C and the J, we've got some like, oh shit, here it comes. But with the U, it's even more because of its complete openness to that spiritual realm and letting things in, the emotional side, the past, the future, everything can go in. It has boundaries, but it doesn't stop things from actually getting in and absorbing into the letter, that it tips over often and spills out whatever it's built up. So that could be happy stuff. That could be people who spend a lot of, like, spend their money too much because it's just like, oh, fuck it, everything's, you know. It can be emotional problems. It can be abuse, betrayals. It can be, you know, that too much trust, not enough trust. Like all of anything that you could fill your cup with can be spilled over in the U letter. So when you have a U in your name, it's a good thing to pay attention to where your limits are so that you don't let that cup get too full and then it spills out all over everybody and you start like trauma dumping or something. I don't know.
Imbalance, warm and spiritual.
Oh, yeah,
out of
DMV.
balance, cold and materialistic.
Yeah, the U, there's not like a bad side to the U besides knowing that you need to make sure that whatever you're collecting emotionally stays under control so that it doesn't spew out everywhere. Like when you've had enough, right? So like you need to speak on it, or you can go to counseling, or make sure you have a friend to confide in. Like whatever's going on, don't let your U fill up so much that it spills on everybody. Yeah.
Okay, and last under number 4, we did D, then M, and now we're on V. And I think this will be our last letter, but I do have something that I want to ask you about. How is there a way when you're putting all the letters of your name together, like Melissa or Tracy or Jamie, but you know, how do you, like, you define each letter and what it means, and then you kind of like read it and like, I mean, how does that?
Yeah, you just
how does that
interpret.
part? How does you know?
I understand. It's like, how do you surmise what your name means as a whole?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best way to do that is to look at your first letter. That's the filter through which all your other letters are really going to aid or hinder. So if your first letter is the M, you're the mountain, you're solid, you know what you want, you're kind of like unmoving. All right, do you need to be moved a little bit more? What letters in your name could help you understand that part of yourself? You know, it's all the thing about knowing the meaning of the letters is so that you can find balance within yourself, so that you feel okay. Because there's no such thing as perfect. We're all these different variations that, like a sounding board, you're like, I need a little more volume here. I need a little less bass. We're going to add a little treble over here. Okay. All right. Now that sounds good. And this is my version of me I'm testing out. Then you realize, oh, I've got a short temper. Okay. Well, let's like lean into this, you know, S a little bit more and get more spiritual and get a little deeper and do more creating. And if I have that outlet, like maybe I won't be so short-tempered at work. You just look at your name and look at the way that the letters are individually and then how they can help each other. Like a double S, when you have that double S, this is like having a 22 or a 33. It's amplified already. And it's the third iteration of the 1. So your independence feeling might feel like, can't nobody tell you shit ever. You are the boss of all bosses. You know everything, even if you don't speak on it. That might be how that comes out for you, right? You have the M, which is very physical and on the earth. So that also could lead to being like, no, I know I'm right because I know what I'm doing. Like you'll find all the ways to make sure you know that what you believe is exactly what you believe. And it'd be very hard for somebody to tell you differently. That could cause problems in relationships or at a job. So you might want to lean into the A, where it's like, if I could only become a little more like, let go, like just like, let's all love each other. Let's just be kumbaya. Because we didn't go over I yet. And I is a candle. It's a light within us. And you may need to re-illuminate that light and let the I take over. You can also give yourself a nickname and start calling yourself something else so that there's a letter that isn't so predominant that kind of like hurts your personality. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. That's helpful.
I hope that was helpful.
And the last one for this week, I think then we'll wrap it up, and because we'll have these to cover on the next one. Do you think that's too many? That's all we got done. So this is where we're stopping. So V is the last letter under number 4, DMV. We're going places.
Yeah. The letters line up so beautifully when you put them in that numerology letter chart. I love them so much because each 3 spell sort of a word, and they give you a hint as to what those letters are all about. They have their own motto, you know. The V. the dreaded V. I'll tell you what, if there was one letter I did not want to put in my kid's name, it was a V. And I didn't really even want to put an N because an N has a V in it. And I know that that's like the next one over the 5s, but it's not outlined. You can't see it. But the V is a pit. And the pit doesn't have anything to cling to climb out of it. You're usually standing at the bottom of it wondering, what the fuck do I do now? I was going to try and come. Sorry, guys, I'm talking a lot, so my throat's getting dry. The V and the U are actually very connected. The biggest difference is that the V is balancing on a point, not a rocker, okay? So the point is that when you're standing at the point, you need to make quicker decisions. The moment you realize you're in a hole, you need to act quickly to get out of it, because then it's just quicksand. The walls just keep falling in on you. The V is that pit that you literally have to learn the lesson over and over again. It is like a pitfall. It is like something that you're always relearning the same fucking lesson over and over again. It's like, well, I've already done this. Why are we doing this again? What did I not learn? V is all about teaching you to not repeat your patterns. That's what V really does. It's open like the U. So you've got past information, future information, but you also have all that spiritual. Somebody's trying to talk to you. V is definitely, it's got the arms open, reaching for the sky, go and send me a message. And I've not found a lot of people with V names who are super spiritual. I find that they're more religious. I don't know why. Maybe it's the structure. It makes them feel safer. Like they've got a plan of, I do 5 Hail Marys and now I'm not in trouble anymore or something. There's more structure to religion than there is spirituality, but it's still a spiritual number because it is fully open to just the spiritual realm. And in the world side, it sits on a point and needs quick action and not lingering here on the plane. So it is about, when people have the V in their name, they really need to get good at seeing signs from their spirit guides or their angels or whatever they believe in. Like there needs to be something outside of yourself that you're connected to, because the V will always feel like a pit otherwise. And you'll be like, why does the same thing keep happening to me? Instead, it should be, oh, I know exactly how to handle this bad situation. This is one of my boundaries I set up and I don't do that anymore. Like I don't say yes when I'm really tired. That could be something that falls within the V letter pitfall, right? It's just something that you do in your character that you're like, I'm not happy about that and I wish I didn't do it.
So there's no pros or imbalance with this one, because it's such a tough, this is like a learning.
It's a very tough letter. Yeah.
This is a learn. This sounds like there's just a lot of lessons.
Well, what it is it's usually repeating lessons that people go through in their life. And it doesn't mean like every week, every day, every month, but it can be bigger lessons. You learn more in numerology as you discover more things about your name. But these, especially because this is a 4-letter, this is about balance. This is about finding balance in what you do. So say you have a bad trait or like a negative thing that you do and you do it. Like for me, procrastination. I do procrastinate, always have. My mom's called me a lollygagger since forever. So
she was a lollygagger when she was like,
I'm on my own program. I don't know what to tell everybody.
As soon as she started walking
But I handled military structure really well, right? Like I can be structured if I want to, but I have to want it. J's have to live with purpose. I have to know that what I'm doing is for a purpose. If somebody just wants me to hurry up because they want something, I'm like, well, but I'm not done looking at this little bug on this tree over here. Like I need to observe this until he flies away. I just have to. This is in my soul. I need to do that. That's what you'll find me being late for. I usually find something in nature that I really have to stop and look at. It annoys my husband sometimes. It's like, you've seen those things where people go on walks and it's like the wife is always behind going like, oh, look at this. Oh, did you see that? Look at that. It's like, I thought we were walking here. I'm like, well, no, I'm not like a walk for exercise person. I'm like a walk so I can see what nature's doing maybe. Maybe. Do you want to stop at an hour and a half?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
How does everybody feel who's on? Because we will have to schedule something then.
Yeah, we have to
fill in the blanks for the rest of them.
Yeah, we'll have to do. We have to do on our next. We'll do another episode or live of this topic where we'll cover the remaining letters under here. So we are actually we left off at 5 because we did the E. When we come back, we'll probably repeat the E and then go in the order that Jamie would have liked me to start to begin with, which I didn't know I was supposed to do. And I just went off my own merry way doing my notes like, my name.
I know. And now I don't know how well you guys can get the information if you have to like listen and wait for the letter. I guess that's why if they knew when the letters were coming in, they could see their whole name played out. But maybe I just build like a download people could.
Yeah, I think
something.
I think I told Jamie that I was doing. So I made a goddess page on our website. So like a goddess reference page, or it's under. By the way, our website, Which Works Coven. Is it Which Works Coven?
Wow. Neither of us actually know. That's hilarious.
Oh my God. Well, we tried to get
it's witchworkscoven.com.
Okay.
It's
because only we wanted Witchworks, but I don't think it was available. So witchworkscoven.com. Yeah. But anyway, this weekend, I had been wanting to put some information on there about the goddesses and deities, because last year in 2025, during our podcast, we did a series, one a month. We did a goddess.
12 goddesses.
We did 12 goddesses.
Yeah.
And Jamie chose goddesses that aligned with the zodiac sign. So we covered each of those. But I loved the information in there, and I thought it would be of value. And I had a whole point to the story. But anyway, I made this goddess page. And
putting stuff on the website, and maybe I should put the letters on the website.
Oh, yeah. So what I was thinking about that, what I had told her before, as I put all these things together on the website, I thought, it'd be really cool is to make like cards, almost like the size of tarot cards, that were like goddess cards and had the details about the goddess. So you could it would be something maybe that we could give to people as a reference or something. But then also these
I know
the letters
are so good.
The letters are so good. There's
so love all their stories.
Yeah. There's so much information. I just think these would be just like such a cool thing that if we made something that we could give to people for giving us their email address or something like that. Not that we email anybody, but we will at some point in time.
Someday
we still want your email.
Someday we'll send emails.
Let's see. Let's talk about a couple other things that we always fail to remember. So in case you don't know, we do have a podcast. We're doing 2 podcasts a month. Our podcasts, all of our podcasts can be found on Spotify, Apple, and also we put the recordings on our YouTube channel, and they are all in a playlist for the podcast. There's actually a tab on our YouTube channel, Which Works Coven, on YouTube, that has all of our podcasts. So you can go and listen to them, or you can listen to them on the via whatever streaming service you use to listen to podcasts and things.
Well, I have an announcement then. And it really only pertains to local witches, because I don't know that the Spirit University does anything online yet. I know they're working to do it, but I put in an application to teach a witchcraft course using the word witch and everything, because I didn't know how that would be received, the word witch, at the Spirit University in, I think it's technically Bradenton, but it's like right near the Sarasota airport. And I will be teaching a live sort of beginner witchcraft class in person at the college on Saturday, March 14th, which is just the way that they received the letter that I got back from them on my whole, I showed them everything that I wanted to teach and sort of who it's for. And I wrote everything up really nicely. And the lady who responded, she goes, "This is such beautiful work, and we would be more than happy to have you here. You totally align with what we're trying to do, and just helping people find their place and anything that adds to that." Because they have tarot courses there, and chakras and mediumship,
all kinds of psychic stuff. Yeah,
just everything within the realm of the occult. And what they didn't have was a witchcraft course. And I was like, I think I'll just submit and request to teach one there, because I think the world needs that. And I got approved, and they were like, yep. And so now my first class is on March 14th. I'm brand new with them as far as a teacher. So I know that they're probably going to have a sit-in. And then what I'm hoping to do is do reoccurring classes there, so that when they bring their stuff up online, you would be able to go through it online as well. And there's, handouts that we could definitely email off to people. I could see the whole thing working as online with them as well. But they host everything. They're amazing. They promote it. They do everything.
They have a huge following too in our area. I don't know if there's Spirit Universities in other places, but they have a lot of classes.
They do.
They have a lot. Their calendar is full.
Yeah, it's full. And I'm super excited. And then, when I started thinking about it, I remember it was probably 3 days after I got the acceptance letter and we wrote back and forth. then I got really scared. I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? So there's already 24 people interested, and I'm just like, okay, yep, we're just going to do this.
We're doing this.
We're just
Well,
doing
you know,
this.
one day Jamie's going to have a TED Talk about witchcraft.
That's true, yeah.
So
I wanna
this
get
is
on
her,
TED Talks.
like, this is the leading up to
This is like baby step one.
her TED Talk that
Yeah.
she's going to do one day on witchcraft.
On witchcraft, on bringing women back to their spiritual centers, because of all of the shit that we've been through. Nobody's like really given us space to do that. So we're taking it. We're taking this space. We're taking all this shit back, and we're not asking permission to call ourselves witches or use the occult or do whatever we want and practice all these things and not marry or not have kids or do whatever we want. We don't have to
or
live.
just live with a bunch of women on on 50 acres and raise
Yes.
animals and food and you know, take in
the animals would not be for eating though.
No. Well, I'm
going to convert everybody to being a vegetarian.
Okay.
Except maybe
Tracy says you're going to be amazing. I agree, Tracy. She will be amazing.
I'm excited, but also slightly terrified. I don't know why.
I'll be there.
I've done this for years.
I'm going to be her emotional support cat.
Person. I brought my emotional support cat with me. Yeah. I'm really excited. It's probably the bravest thing I've done in the last couple of years. So, I mean, starting a YouTube channel was one of them, putting my stories out on.
You did something even braver after that. She announced it at a family dinner.
I did.
She announced it at a family dinner.
To all the Christians.
To all of the I don't know if they're, to the Christians.
This is the best way to put it. Like, it's just people who don't know anything about witchcraft. I don't think that they are upset about it at all. But these are people that I was scared in the very beginning for them to find out. I was like, oh my God, what if they realize I am a witch and I practice witchcraft? And my husband was always like, who cares? Who cares? You're you. Just be you. Just be you. And I was like, I don't think I should be me. I don't think you're going to like it when they find out who I am. But it was well received, and people were like, that's so exciting. That's so cool. That's, and I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. But telling them I wasn't worried about the reaction, and I really wasn't worried about being accepted. I was just like, this is what I'm doing now. Today, when I was at True Leave, the lady asked me, she's like, so I'm trying to get more used to saying what I'm about to tell you guys. This lady was like, so do you have anything else planned for the rest of your day? I was like, yeah, I teach witchcraft, so I'm going to have a class tonight on some stuff and just talk about it like it's super normal. Now this is a dispensary for weed, right? For medical marijuana. So this is people that I would feel like are in our realm of just kind of like
live and let live.
Yeah. Like no judgment.
Yeah.
But the way that she's like typing and then looked over at me for a second, like, did she just say witchcraft? And then she like kept typing. I was just like, I want her to be like, do you like witchcraft? Do you want to know about it? Like, but I'll do that to her next time, maybe. But I think I told you guys that I'm planning on getting a name tag that just says witchcraft educator and just wearing it around all the time. Like I just came from a class or school.
And her husband gave her a new name.
He did. Professor of Witchery. That's what he's calling me now, which is so cute. I love my husband. He's so supportive. He is the best. So, yep, he calls me Professor of Witchery, which is cute.
That's very cute. I love it.
He's adorable.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us.
Yes.
And
through all of the messy stuff that was not organized.
Disorganized
totally
shit that I did. So to fuck everything up.
And listen, if you miss something or you're not going to be able to make the next one, email us at 7greensisters@gmail.com with your name, just the first name, and I will respond with like what your letters mean, because that was the whole hopes of this, that we got through the letters, then we were able to give people like a synopsis of their name.
Yeah, this was a lot though. There was a lot to go through, so I'm not sure.
I don't know, 26 letters in one night's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Names.
Yeah, I don't know that we could have done names. Like maybe next time, we didn't do Tracy, so maybe next time we'll do, because we didn't do R.
And Y.
R and Y, for Tracy. So
see that I could do that. I want to say it so bad. It's so hard. It's so hard for me.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
And
we will see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
We appreciate you and love you.
Bye.
And because I forgot my mouse again, I actually got to get up and stop the video. Yeah. One day I'll get good at this.
One day we're actually gonna have a real studio where we don't have to sit at my kitchen table.
One day you don't have to see me do all of this. Just one day. One day.
Good night, witches.
Bye.